So I'm going to log in. I'm going to enter my username and my password. Okay, this is the Five Below homepage, and let's just orientate ourselves to the page. Right here is what we call the global navigation, and it has a home tab. This is the directory. This is where all of your businesses, addresses, and contacts live. Live reporting, this replaces the current report builder that you use on Exposite. And then standard, this is a prototype page that the design department is going to use to upload their prototype documents, or the architects will do that, but those documents will now live in this location here so everybody can get access to them. Anytime you want to go back home, just select or click on the Five Below logo. And before I go any further, I forgot to mention that Sitefolio is cross-browser compatible, so we work with all browsers. We work best in Chrome, so we recommend you use Chrome with Sitefolio. If you use, especially Internet Explorer, you're going to experience difficulties with like drag and drop and that sort of thing that you wouldn't have with Chrome. And also I wanted to give you a little tip, because sometimes, like if you first log in, your screen might be really small like that. Hold down the control button on your keyboard and then click on the plus sign, and that will size your screen to the size that you want. In addition to the global navigation here, this is what we call the quick search box, and this is where you find everything, all the data that's in Sitefolio. You can find it through using the quick search box. Over here on the left navigation is your dashboard. This is your projects that you're watching here, and we'll also show you how to build that list. And then down here is where you can log out of Sitefolio, change your password, set your preferences, and we'll talk about preferences later. And then customer support, this is where you can access a user guide, but I did a special user guide just for Five Below, which is in this folder right here. And this user guide has screenshots from the Five Below Sitefolio, and it only includes functionality that Five Below is using, so it's a lot more easier to read. So I recommend everybody downloads that or accesses it when they need to, because it has everything that we're talking about in training today is in the user guide. Under customer support is this email link here, and if anybody from Five Below has any technical issues or needs help with anything, just click this link and it opens up an email to us, to Sitefolio. And because the subject line contains Five Below, that's going to go straight to me and my team since you're our account, and we'll be able to assist you with anything that you have. And then also you can see under the user guide folders that we have one for the contractors, one for your architects and vendors. So everybody gets their special user guide. Over here in the links box are links to some reports that you will be using. And I'm sure these look familiar to you. I'm going to open up the first one, which is the vendor schedule report. So we basically replicated what reports you were using in Exposite and put them in Sitefolio for you. We have one for the vendors, one for the construction team, REC expanded, and then the short version. Some other reports down here are more for the construction and real estate and design department because it has to deal with budgets and contracts. This audience may or may not be using those reports. Also in the links box is a link to our YouTube channel, and if you click on that, you'll see that we have 1 or 2 minute little videos on how to do certain things in Sitefolio. And then underneath that is a link to our mobile app. Our app is not something that you download from the App Store, but instead you open up this page from your mobile device and then click on this link here, and that will open up the mobile version of Sitefolio. I recommend saving that as a bookmark or a thumbnail on your mobile device for future access. So that's the home page. So let's go through how to search in Sitefolio. To search for projects, you just want to make sure that projects and sites is clicked on. And then you're going to search either by the store number or the city that the location is located in. And I'm going to search for Haynes Point. So I'm typing in Haynes and clicking on search. And there it is. Just so you know, if you don't want to search for Haynes Point again, if you come over here and you click on Add in the My Projects list, it'll put that in your My Projects web part for next time you log in. So if I go home, you'll see that there's my Haynes Point. So I recommend everybody, when you first log in, find your stores that you're working on and put those in your My Projects. In Site Folio, you can search for documents that have been uploaded, because here's where your documents live here under the Files tab. And you can see that it's, unless you know what you're looking for, it's kind of a lot to look through. So in Site Folio, if you know the file name of the document that you're looking for, you can type that in the document search box here. And then the key, and if you don't do this, you're going to be searching for as-built on all the locations. To narrow your search down, and by selecting that little arrow there, and then search Haynes Point, and there's my as-built, just for this location that I was in. Then I can open it up and look at it. The next thing you can search on is businesses. So I'm looking for CB Richard Ellis. So I'm going to type in CBRE and then search. There it is. It's been imported along with their address. And if I click on the business name, it tells me that it's a real estate support business, brokerage firm, and here's all the people that work for CBRE that works with Five Below. Right, so Premier Eurocase, for example, if you were searching for Premier Eurocase, you could either search by the word Premier or Eurocase, and it will bring it up. These are all the businesses that you're going to pull down into your projects that you're working on. And then in Site Folio, you can search by contacts. So if I wanted to find out what Lori's phone number is, I just type in Lori and select search. And there she is. This right here is a link to her email address. So if you just click on that, it's going to populate her email. So that's how you find the data in Site Folio, using this search box here. Again, whenever I want to go home, I click on the Five Below logo in the left corner. So let's move into the project. I created a project that everybody can use for training purposes and practice. So if you want to enter training in the quick search box, and then select search. These are project numbers. So to enter a project, you want to click on the number. History of all the times you've touched that location will be kept in Site Folio. So just like we have a global navigation here, the project has a navigation bar, which is right here. And then underneath that, you have a place where the project managers will more than likely enter in comments. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there's shortcuts to some pictures that have been uploaded to the store. And those are pulling from here. So if you want, you can just scroll through the pictures. And then underneath that, the team thought it would be helpful to have these key project participants up on the front of the page so that you can get their contact information. But basically who the NSM is, who the district manager is, and your vendors. And then below that are some folder shortcuts they thought would be helpful to have on the front of the project page. So your merchandise plan, you don't have to go hunting for it under the Files tab here. You can just grab it off the front page of the project. Same for the site plan, and approved layout, and exterior signage. And then underneath that, we have some reports that might be helpful. This is the project directory report. It basically is a printout of everybody that's working on this location, along with their role in the project and their contact information. And then the project snapshot is a helpful little report that basically gives you a snapshot of the project. And we pulled in the key project schedule dates, the projected and the actual, who the key players are, and then your general comments. Let's move on to classification. Most of the people in this training session will be using this page to view data, not so much updating it. So this is where you're going to come to find out maybe the shopping center name, the construction type, the seasonal set, that sort of thing. Underneath classification is a page for the attributes of the building. And these are things like the square footages, register count, all of that. I'm going to move on to schedule. The schedule is a little different than it was in Exposite just because you're going to be using a baseline, a projected, and an actual date. In Folio, your baseline and your projected are fully calculated for you, and then you will just enter the actual in as they occur. If there's a specific milestone on a schedule that you want to observe or watch and make sure it gets done, or want to know when it gets done, you can follow it, and that's this bell icon here. So if you want to know when the CD redline review is, just click the bell icon, and that's going to put it on your dashboard here. And in addition, you'll get notified when that is complete by an email notification. Everyone else, this is just a great place to come to see what the schedule is, and you can follow anything that's important to you. All right, let's talk about the team. If I go to team and then click all, this is a list of everybody that is involved with this location. It's going to first list the Five Below people, and then your architect, your contractor, and then all your vendors. Again, these are live email addresses, so if you click on it, it'll populate an email for you. Let's move on. Tasks probably won't be used a lot by this group, but it's basically a place where people can come that are, actively involved. If you create a task here, it'll go on their dashboard and they'll get a notification that they need to go do that. I'm going to skip over requests and the $sign. All right, so in Folio, to view a document, you just want to click on the document name, and that opens it up. If you want to download everything in a folder, just click on the three dots next to the folder name and select Download Folder Contents as zip. There's my merchandising plan. I also wanted to point out, if there's a folder that you want to get notified of when something is uploaded, you can enable yourself to get a notification. And to do that, again, just click the three dots next to the folder, and then you want to go to Notification, and then Enable Notification. In Folio, we've separated out all the photographs from the folder structure. We put our pictures in what we call photo libraries. And so your architects, your vendors, or your contractors can actually use our mobile app to upload any pictures. The photos themselves go into like a slideshow type of document where you can click and scroll through. And in Folio, you can add descriptions to each picture. And then what you can do is download all the pictures into a PDF document that throws them into a thumbnail sheet, and then the comments are below. Be aware that when you're looking for pictures, they're going to be over here under the Photos tab, not under Files. So let's talk about the dashboard really quick. You may get something assigned to you once in a while, or you may want to follow a schedule milestone. And if you do, it'll appear here on your dashboard. And you can complete items on your dashboard by clicking that box. Enter the date, and it will write it back to the schedule, and then also move the task to your completed task section. So let's talk about preferences really quick. This is important for you guys to come in and do this. You only have to do it once, but this is where you're going to tell Folio how you want to get notified of any notifications related to the schedule or project task. This option here, the task dashboard notifications, if you enable that, it's going to send you basically a snapshot of what's on your dashboard, and then you can choose the frequency. You have all these options here, and then you can choose to aggregate everything into one email or one email per task. Task activity notifications, this is important because if you don't have this enabled, if something gets assigned to you, you won't get a notification for it. So I highly recommend enabling this option. And then this last one is probably more for the construction and real estate and design departments that are going to really use the schedule task. But if you enable this option, it'll send you reminders every night for things that are overdue that you're responsible for. And once you are done setting your preferences, just click Save. Last thing I wanted to talk about really quick is live reporting. And as I mentioned earlier, this is going to replace your report builder that you use in Exposite. In Folio, you can either duplicate an existing report by selecting Duplicate, or you can start from scratch. And in that case, you click this Add Report button. And these are your columns, and they're empty right now. So to start building your report, you click into the first column. And that's going to bring up all of your options that you can include in your report. If I expand these, you'll see you can add vendors, anything, maybe you want to add the address, phone line. You can also add anything that's at the project level, like the building type, project number. And then over here are contacts, so maybe you want to see who the construction administrator is. You can also add dates to your report. So if you wanted to add, let's say, the grand opening date, click on that. Once you're done selecting your columns, you want to save your report. And then from there, you can come here and select your sort. You can filter your data, so it's not bringing back all 15,000 projects that you have in your Folio. And you can add report security. If you only want you to see the report, you can change the security to do that. And then also, let me show you how to change the report name. Up here where it says New Report, and then type your report name. And there's our report. And all the reports in live reporting are live. So if you want to change the building type from this report, you can do that. And that will write it back to the project in Folio. You can add the phone line from here, or any of this information. And then also you can export all these reports to Excel.